Hello, I'm Lori Sharonbrock, and welcome to our newest episode of What's on the Horizon. I'm here with Chris Schucker, owner of Digital Horizons, and today I want to talk about remodeling. We just kind of did one at our home, and we are do-it-ourselfers, and I don't recommend that really to anyone if I can help it, but really tests a marriage, let me tell you. But in the process of doing that remodel, what would you say are the top 3, top 5 kind of smart features that you would recommend integrating into a home?
So there's a lot of things that you can do, obviously. Sure. So we'll probably just cover 3, I think.
Sounds great.
So one thing that's been really popular, both for remodel and new construction, are automatic water shutoff valves.
Oh.
And the way it works is on your incoming pipe, you'll have an inch, inch and a quarter, inch and a half, depending on the size of your home. Sure. And all the faucets and toilets and everything. You'll have that incoming feed, and there's a valve that gets installed in line, and it can be manually operated. You can go to it and you can shut it off to turn all the water off to the home if you want to, it's no different than having a ball valve or something on it, right? I mean, that's really easy. It's not anything fancy. Any plumber can put those in. But what this sets itself apart by doing is by being able to be tied to water sensing modules that are placed throughout the home. So you put them near primary drains, maybe through other problematic devices like ice makers, refrigerators, your dishwasher, your washing machine, wherever you have a water connection that you feel you want covered, you place those sensors at those locations. When they sense water, it shuts the valve off. Now that occurs at all times, whether you're there, whether you're not there. So if this is a primary residence and you're on vacation, you have that peace of mind for those devices that are more problematic, that your valve will shut off. So what happens is if it senses it, obviously there's water in the line, that pressure is getting forced out and the water's leaking through. So you're going to get some water that comes through, but it's going to tell that valve to shut off, and then your water is cut off, and then there's no more pressure, and in theory, it's going to prevent that water from escaping. So we install security systems, and the primary reason, or one of the primary reasons people install them, is because they want water sensing. And so if you don't have a security system, you can use these water valves to cover it. And my understanding is there's a lot of incentive from the insurance companies for people to have these.
I bet.
So the difficult part is that they work really well on municipal water where you have constant pressure. But when you're dealing with a well and things like that, sometimes there are some difficulties revolving around it. But in general, they can be installed anywhere, and they can operate standalone. They can be tied into automation systems. They can be integrated with security. But that's a big thing lately. Yeah.
So what would number 2, after a water control, then what would be number 2 for you?
Number 2 that's really popular would be a lighting control system.
Oh, sure, yep.
Yeah. So lighting control is the method of simplifying the operation of lights in an area and potentially eliminating the amount of devices that would be needed in the area. Yeah. So, for example, instead of having a bank of 6 light switches, it can be reduced down to a single keypad or a couple keypads that are then programmed to make the operation of the lights in that area easy. I don't know about you, but I've been in homes of friends that literally they have labels on the lights, and it's like, this is sconces, this is kitchen sink, this is recessed lights. And if you don't label it, even if you label it, it's still annoying. So if you have lighting control, you just have what are called scenes programmed. So you might have a scene for cooking that turns everything on. You might have a scene for entertaining that dims everything. And so lighting control is becoming really popular, and that can be put into an existing home. It can be done during a remodel. It can be done during new construction. Sure. But lighting control is very, very popular these days.
Awesome. And number 3?
I would say window treatments.
Huh.
Yeah, so we install battery-operated motorized shades or drapes, actually.
Oh.
But shades are more common. So you can utilize these battery-operated shades on literally any window that you want. It can be installed in the window. It can be installed above the window. You can have fascia. You can not have fascia. But then you can operate them via your phone, or you can have them tied into a wall-mounted keypad. But it's becoming a really, really popular thing, especially with lake homes where you might have 15 windows that face the lake.
Oh, yeah.
imagine having to go through and pull and twist and tug on all the chains and everything to raise the shades.
So annoying.
We can go in and do battery operated, or ideally we could go in and wire them low voltage. If you're doing a remodel, usually there's the ability to run some wires.
Sure.
And by doing it a low voltage shade, then you eliminate the need for batteries. The communication's a little bit more reliable, but battery is still very, very valuable. And you can automate as few or as many shades as you want, where you hit a button and they just raise and lower. Or like the lighting system, you can have what are called scenes programmed, where you can press a button and all the shades just raise 20%. So you just let a little bit of light in. Or they open to being 20% closed, where they're up almost all of the way. But just hitting a single button and having every shade in your home go up and down, if you can imagine how cool that would look.
Yeah.
It's such a lifesaver. That's becoming really, really popular too.
And I imagine on days like today, or anywhere that is this hot all the time, that it can probably provide a little bit of energy savings too, to keep some of that heat out.
So when you do shades, whether they're motorized or not, all fabrics have different characteristics. Some are designed to absorb light, some are designed to reflect light, some are designed to let light through and still provide privacy. And so that's some of the things that we work with, usually the interior designer, but we can make the recommendations ourselves on a proper fabric based on where it's being placed. They also have blackout versions, which is fantastic for sleeping areas like master bedrooms and things like that, where you walk into the bedroom and you want to close all the shades. You just hit a button and you go lay in bed. They can also be set to a certain time, which is really nice too. So there's people that, I can't do this, but people that like waking up to the sunlight.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We just have the shades raise slowly when the sun rises. And then they have their natural alarm clock built right in. And then maybe at night they just automatically close at sunset, so then they don't have to worry about walking out from the bathroom naked and having their neighbors see them. So
first world problems, right?
So shades are really popular, and next to lighting control is probably the most favorite thing that we do, because it's actually fairly challenging. When you do a motorized shade, just measuring shades in general, there's a lot of things that have to be accounted for, because not all contractors are good at what they do. They can't install a plumb window. It's not level. And so your measurement at the top might vary by a half an inch from the bottom. And so those things have to be accounted for. And it's a fun thing to install, and it has such an impact on our customers' lives. I really like motorized shades.
And I think too, there may be a perception that home automation or these kind of automated things are frou-frou things that aren't really necessary, or they cost too much. But I think there's like a real cost savings and safety that comes along with these, like we talked about with the shade and the heat and lighting control and your safety of your home, that it's good to think about those kind of cost balances too when you're installing a system.
It's a lot of what we do. I like. It sounds odd, but I've had the conversation a lot where we're very upfront that we realize that almost nothing we offer, nobody needs what we offer.
Certainly.
Nobody needs motorized shades. They don't need lighting control. They don't need nice home theater systems. They want what we have.
Certainly.
And it brings convenience. It brings comfort. It brings peace of mind. It can be a safety thing. And it's a lot in our society right now is based around saving time, because we just don't have a lot of it. And so by eliminating a lot of the processes that somebody might go through throughout the day, multiple times a day, like raising and lowering shades, it sounds very menial, but by taking those functions and minimizing them to a single button press and giving you that time back, it's what everything's about.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot more to it than being with the latest technology. That's just scratching the surface of what it really does. Well, that's a great list. I think a good place to start. And if someone did want to get started with that, how do they get a hold of you?
So I would have them visit our website, which is digitalhorizonsmn.com. But I'd love people to come into our experience center and see this stuff. We have all of these things in areas that represent homes, and we also do some commercial work, so we have a nice space for that. And you can be in these areas where all of this technology is present and see it firsthand and understand how it functions, what it looks like, how it works, what it does. and know exactly what you're getting prior to actually getting it.
Yeah, I second that. I love the experience center. I love watching what each of the buttons do and realizing like how much of an impact that actually could have on my daily life. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode.